Hello guys, welcome back to the Strong Girl Goss podcast.
This week's episode then, guys, we're going to be talking about how training can actually improve your personal and professional life. I think often people can see just going to the gym, it's getting better, isn't it, over time now? But I think too many people are still in the mindset of just seeing the gym as something you do when you want to change the way that you look, when you want to lose weight, when you want to grow a big bum or whatever. And it's getting better now, I think, and people are starting to utilise it more for like mental health and other reasons. I can't even tell you how much my training has changed my personal and professional life. And I'm sure you're the same, Ella.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about this as you were speaking, but I think maybe people like the layperson, let's say, so someone who isn't in fitness as a career, might not see the benefits of it because they see us on Instagram, let's say, and our personal and professional lives are fitness. You know, it's not something we do as a hobby or on the side. Like it all does weave together. But I think then you can't clearly see how much it has impacted us in a positive way for personal and professional reasons. So yeah, I think a podcast like on this will be good because it's honestly changed so much about like my confidence and the way I do things. So yeah, it'll be a good one.
I think it's going to be a good mindset switch for so many listening. But before we get into it, win of the week, what we got?
Win of the week. So my win of the week actually hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. And that is I'm going to get my 4 sessions in for the first time in like 3 weeks. I've only done 2 so far. Today's a rest day, but it's definitely going to be 4 this week. What about you?
When we're accountable. My win this week is actually getting up to my alarm. I know that sounds like, well, duh, but I mean, it's getting hard, and I totally get it. Even like when clients are saying at the moment, like, I just haven't been able to get up. It's getting hard. It's darker, and it's just colder. And that is the biggest thing, you know. Like I've tried to put like a little. Do you know what? I was gonna say house coat, and then I was like, no, wait. I bet you call. And now I feel like this needs to stay in the podcast because it's going to be a full-on debate, like, what do you call it, dressing gown or a house coat? But I put my house coat next to my bed last night, and actually getting out of bed this morning was far easier because it was just like, you know when you can feel the cold in the air and you just don't want to get out of bed? That is the situation that I've been in all week, but I've pushed through it, and the win is actually just getting up to the alarm and actually setting 2 alarms. I've been setting one like 10 minutes early before then I actually need to get up, if that makes sense. So I can actually snooze that one and then get up. But yeah, I feel
yourself that you're having a lie-in, but you're not.
Yeah, literally, it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you are listening to this, guys, and you're struggling at the moment, because I feel like, yeah, as a whole, it is so much harder this time of year to get up early. Then just know that you're not alone, and you have got to just push through it, because once I'm up, I'm fine. So that's my win. Not letting the alarm win.
You're beating the alarm.
Beating the alarm. Okay, then getting into the actual episode of how training can improve your personal and professional life. We're going to split it down so we don't go off on a tangent, because we're so good at that, into like 3 key pillars. So starting first of all with mindset. I'm going to give you some examples as well of how it has improved my mindset and how it's improved Ella's mindset. So hopefully you can put it into your own context and it can be relatable. So for me, the mindset that I've adapted since starting training has honestly just been incredible. I was always quite underconfident, quite shy, quite like in my own head. Like I didn't have a lot of self-belief in anything, in the job that I was doing, in the gym. And as soon as I started proving to myself, like, oh my God, I'm quite strong, like I can do this in the gym, it honestly just transferred over to my everyday life mentality. And that has always been my biggest takeaway from training. And it's always the biggest thing that I try and encourage, like even my clients or people around me to really lean into, because when you can adapt a powerful mindset, like it just changes your life in so many ways. And I think your mind's so powerful, right? Like it literally tells you what to do every day. Like as soon as you get a thought into your head, if you tell yourself that you can't do something, if you tell yourself you can't lift that weight that's on the barbell, you won't do it. If you tell yourself that you can, you will, to a certain extent, obviously, as long as it's realistic. But I just think there's something about the mindset side of things that just keeps me hooked, because every time I prove myself, prove to myself that I can do it in the gym, I'm like, well, I can do it in business now. I can go and leave that job, which I literally did because I didn't enjoy it. Like, it's just that resilience that you build. And yeah, the mindset will always be one of my favorites for improving life, like in your personal and professional life, because like I say, it has such a big knock-on effect.
Yeah. And I think as well, with going back to like how much weight is on the bar and stuff, even if you think, oh my God, I can't lift that, then you actually prove yourself wrong and you do lift it, you start realizing that actually you underestimate yourself. And then in other areas of your life, then whether it be in your job, in your relationships, whatever, you start holding yourself to a higher standard, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I always underestimate myself in the gym, and this is something I can relate to. I always underestimate myself there. So what else am I actually underestimating myself in? Oh my God, that word is so hard to say. But for me as well, like as well as that, because I resonate a lot with that, it's actually the like in the gym scenario. Like for me, I actually quite find mindfulness quite hard. Like I have a very, very busy brain that keeps me very occupied. And like, you know, I do journal and stuff like this, but I do find it hard to switch off. But for me, when I'm doing a heavy back squat, I am not thinking about anything other than that squat, because if I did, I know I wouldn't finish the rep. Or if I'm going overhead with a really heavy barbell that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to lift, there is no way my mind is on anything else other than that. And for me, it's those tiny moments in those sets of my brain just being clear.
Yeah.
And then that then has a massive impact on how much space I have in my brain for personal and professional life for the rest of the day or the rest of the week or whatever it is, because I've had that moment of like almost quiet.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I guess this can kind of relate to mindset, but even just, I guess it's going into the next pillar, which would be more like mood. But when we're talking about like you say, clearing your brain, giving an example of actually my training session this morning, I woke up this morning feeling super anxious. Like I couldn't tell you why. Like there's not really anything going on to make me feel that way. But some days we just feel that way, don't we? So honestly, I cannot even tell you, even when I got to my training session, it just would not budge for a good 10, 20 minutes. And I was like, this is going to be a rubbish session. Like I'm not going to hit the weights that I need to lift because my head's just in the clouds. And it's just so amazing that like at the end of that session, I was like, wow, like my brain feels a lot clearer now. And I think again, like that can also have such a big impact on your personal and professional life, because it's your mood is everything, right? Like if you are not in the right headspace, and you are not feeling like happy, and you've got a bit of brain fog, or like whatever it is that you are feeling mood wise, you can't then be like the best partner in your personal life. You can't then be, I don't know, the best employee or the best business owner you can be in your professional life if your mood is having an impact. So I do think like getting to the gym, it's so underestimated what it can do for your mind. Like, and that is not me just making that up. I genuinely was so foggy this morning, and now I just feel so much clearer. So if you do anything, lift for your mental health, because again, improving your mood is just going to improve so many other areas of your life.
Defo. And like on that as well, in terms of like you going to the gym and like feeling better, I think there's something to say for the gym showing you that actually you can turn a bad day around. There's not many things that I would be able to put on a list and go, do you know what, if I did that on a bad day, that would make me feel better, but the gym would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I carry that mindset then with me in my normal life to be like, do you know what, no, this day doesn't have to be bad for the whole day. It can and will change, which is a nice power to have, to be able to tap into something and go, if I do that, I'll feel better.
Yeah. So I think like the mindset and the mood kind of like interlink in those ones. But then going on to discipline is such a big benefit that you start to gain when you start getting consistent with your training, because it's that discipline. And like you were saying before, like you're naturally a lazy person. Honestly, I could not relate more. Like I am genuinely lazy at heart, but like obviously I still go to the gym. You would think, okay, like how are they fitness coaches and lazy? But that is why. It's because we've got that discipline to be like, do you know what? I need to get those 4 training sessions done this week. They will get boxed off. And your training really does help you become more resilient and more disciplined in that way, because it's like, you know, you've got things to achieve and you will hold yourself accountable to make sure that you do achieve them and make sure that you tick them off. So I think discipline is a huge one. Relating that to your personal and professional life, like we could all do with a little bit more discipline, right? Even in the context of I am rubbish at taking a break because I'm self-employed and own my own business, I could just work all through the day. But again, it's having that discipline to actually schedule things in like breaks and have that discipline to actually take a break. Or in reverse, maybe it's having the discipline to get up to your alarm, like I was just talking about. Discipline is something that I have personally gained from my training, and I'm sure you're the same. That has definitely improved other areas of my life as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think with lifting especially, it's one of the things that for me you can see real tangible progress. Every week you go in, you've added a rep, you've added a pause, you've added weight onto the bar, and every week you can see yourself getting stronger. So for me, there's a massive connect between I'm putting in this hard work, I'm getting stronger as a result of it. And like you say, like I actually genuinely am lazy at heart. Like my natural default is just to do nothing, is to say no. So I really have to like make myself do things, which is fine. But then once I've kind of like got that proof that, okay, I've worked hard in the gym and it's got me XYZ result, whether it be strength or whatever, I know that if I work hard in other areas and apply that same discipline that I've applied to the gym to work or to this new project I'm working on, it will pay off. So I think just like the proving to yourself that I am that person who gets my gym sessions in, that gives you a lot of kind of like confidence in discipline that you do the things, and then you're able to apply it to other areas and be like, do you know what, if I can work hard in the gym, I can work hard at work, or I can make time for my family, or whatever it might be. So yeah, discipline's a massive one.
Definitely. And then moving on to the last one that we're going to talk about, which is confidence. And I guess confidence can honestly be in so many different ways, right? Like what we're talking about. Are we talking body confidence? Are we talking just like inner confidence, self-confidence, all those kind of things? When you say confidence, I guess, again, the list could be endless. So I guess giving a couple of examples on how confidence has improved my personal and professional life through training is I would definitely say, like, again, body image confidence has 100% improved because, again, not feeling too confident with the way that I looked, starting lifting weights, starting getting consistent with strength training, seeing how my body composition changed as a result of that and a byproduct of that, that has definitely 100% helped with my confidence. And then relating it to a personal life, it's like I then feel confident to go and pick some clothes that I want to wear, and I don't feel like I need to cover myself up or just wear all black all the time. Like, it really, really does have a positive effect on that, of course. But then going into like self-confidence as well, it really does relate back, honestly, to like the mindset and discipline that we've just talked about. But taking the example of, okay, like, let's say this morning, I didn't think I'd be able to lift this weight purely just because my brain was a bit foggy, wasn't feeling it. But then when I actually did it, it's that confidence to go, oh my God, like I am able to do it. And then you continue, and then you continue with that mindset. And then it could have gone one way or the other. I could have left that session and just gone, do you know what, I'm not feeling it today. But it was that confidence that I gained from being able to do something that kept me there. So yeah, and then leading it into like a professional life, honestly, would you have caught me making a podcast a year ago? No. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, when your confidence starts to just improve and you just start to own yourself and you just start to go, oh my God, like, I'm just, fake it till you make it is one of my favourite sayings, right? And I do that with everything now. I fake it when I'm at the gym. I'm like, right, do you know what? This weight's going up, and it will go up. And same with like this podcast. We're going to start that podcast. If no one listens, it's fine. We're still going to do it. And it's just having that confidence to just go for it. Because at the end of the day, something that I live by now is like, what is the worst that could happen? What is the worst that can happen? I fail the lift and I'll probably get it next week. No one listens to the podcast, but maybe by episode 17 people are listening, and hopefully we are. But yeah, confidence is a huge one.
Yeah, like confidence is like, I think as well, because we coach so many women, it's the main reason I feel like women come to us for coaching, and that's just like across the board, not just us, you know. I feel like women generally do just struggle with confidence, which is such a shame. But I genuinely don't think there's any woman on this earth that wouldn't benefit from a bit of strength training. And like going on from what you said about it being kind of split into different categories with the body confidence thing, I think for me, yeah, it's changed my body composition, and yeah, it's changed the way I look so that I feel more confident. But it's almost more specific in that the reason I look the way I look is because I strength train and because I'm strong. So like when I was younger and I was in school, I've always had quite chunky legs, even when I was like really tiny. And like, I used to hate that. I just wanted like stick thin legs. But like when I started strength training years and years ago, I was like, well, actually, it's good that I've got chunky legs because it means I can squat more. And I've got chunky quads because I can do a really big squat. And like you relate then what you look like to what you can do, rather than what you look like just being this thing that you have to achieve. So that for me has been a massive thing confidence wise, but also like I guess on more of like a superficial level, like if something goes wrong in my day, or if, you know, someone at the coffee shop's being a bit of a wanker, I'm like, I can probably squat more than you, mate. Do you know what I mean? And like, it sounds stupid, but I don't think I could do an episode on confidence or whatever without mentioning that it actually does just make you have a little feel good feeling if someone, especially a man, sorry if there's any men listening, if anyone like a man is being a dick and, you know, you have the confidence that you could probably lift more than them. That's just a really fun thing to have in life.
Oh, 100%. I love that. But no, I think honestly, training can improve your personal professional life in just so many ways. We picked those to talk about because I think they are definitely the ones that stand out to us. But just to summarize that episode, mindset and mood, discipline and confidence. It can do so much for you in and outside of the gym when you start seeing strength training as something that can improve your life. And just like you were saying there, not leaning so much into like how I look, but like what my body can do. And then as a result of that, what I can do with my life because of that confidence and discipline and strong, powerful mindset that I have now gained. So yeah, I think it's overlooked. And like you say, I think every woman could benefit from a dose of strength training. And maybe if it's not strength training, maybe it's a different style of movement or exercise, right? But it just makes such a difference to your life. So yeah, I love this episode.
Yeah. I think a closing point from me would be like, I'm someone who goes to the gym, therefore I am someone who can achieve XYZ, or I'm someone who can apply myself to XYZ. You know, if you are making the time in your life and going to the gym and doing something positive for yourself, you can make the time to do other things and create the discipline to do other things. So yeah, it's a big one.
Please, guys, if you haven't already, rinse and repeat, we always say in this, but please make sure that you do follow, subscribe on your preferred platforms and leave us a review if you can, because it really, really is helping. It ensures that we can actually continue with the podcast going into the new year, which is actually nearly soon, isn't it?
Way nearly soon.
We'll see you next week for another episode. Thanks for tuning in.